avoid missing our team's films, featuring the latest developments and unique updates on the Israeli war, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and click the super thanks button below. The Israel Defense Forces announced today that they conducted broad airstrikes on many Hamas members in Gaza. According to the IDF, a more full explanation of the airstrikes would be offered at a later date. The Israeli Defense Forces conducted a drone hit against an anti-tank guided missile unit in southern Lebanon, as well as artillery and tank bombardment of Hezbollah sites in the vicinity. Yesterday, Hezbollah militants launched more than 30 rockets at northern Israel. The attacks against Hezbollah targets were carried out in response to mortar fire on IDF targets in northern Israel. In reprisal for more than 30 mortar bombs thrown into Israel earlier today, Israeli planes, artillery, and tanks commenced fire on Hezbollah infrastructure targets in Lebanon. According to IDF spokesman Daniel Hagari, several of the mortar shells made it inside Israeli territory. The IDF did not immediately offer information on the number of rockets fired from Syria. Earlier on Saturday, the IDF reported 2 rockets were fired from Syria towards northern Israel, setting off sirens in the Golan Heights settlement of Avnei Eitan. The IDF said both rockets landed in vast areas without damage. The army said artillery fire caused the rockets to fire. Hezbollah claimed responsibility for firing 30 mortars from Lebanon onto Mount Dov. Alma and Avnei Eitan in the Golan Heights, near Lebanon and Syria, heard rocket sirens. The threats follow Israel's clashes with Hezbollah and other Palestinian groups in Lebanon. The Israel Defense Forces responded to Syrian missile strikes into northern Israel with artillery fire. After a week of border confrontations with Lebanon, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant assessed the situation at the IDF Northern Command in SAFE today. The minister underlined regional forces' defensive measures to protect civilians and was informed on operations to disrupt terror groups and other targets, according to Gallant's office. The Israeli Air Force struck Syrian airfields again the next day. Beautiful images on ex-Aleppo airport were targeted again today. Syria accused Israel of striking Aleppo airport twice in 3 days. Syria used to launch rockets into Israel. Also targeted on Thursday, Damascus airport was repaired and returned to service immediately. The Defense Ministry reported that Israeli airstrikes in Aleppo late Saturday rendered the airport inoperable. Hours after Syrian rockets hit Israel and days after a similar strike on Aleppo and Syria, the ministry reported that the Israeli enemy attacked Aleppo International Airport from the Mediterranean at 11:35 p.m., damaging and crippling it. The ministry condemned Israel, saying the episode confirmed the occupation's cruelty and accusing Israel of targeting Palestinians. The Chief of General Staff said that Syria's missile assaults against Israel prompted the action. The Israel Defense Forces did not respond to Syria's charges on Thursday. Israeli airstrikes closed the Damascus and Aleppo airports. This is the first attempt since Hamas attacked Israel a week ago, resulting in violence. On Saturday, numerous reports said the new attack on Aleppo airport occurred after the runway was restored and the airport reopened. Hamas received more armaments and aid from Iran yesterday. Iranian Foreign Minister Hussein Amir Abdullahian met with Hamas Political Bureau Chief Ismail Haniyeh in Doha, Qatar, hours after visiting Hassan Nasrallah in Beirut. On Saturday, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi called Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shiite al-Sudani, Qatar's Emir Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani, and Oman's Sultan Haytham bin Tariq to urge immediate and decisive action against Israel's Gaza actions. While Iran is involved, Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon have increased attacks on northern Israel. Meanwhile, Gaza is deteriorating. After today's Israeli attacks, Hamas tried to activate its Gaza command to collect ammunition and prioritize residents. However, before the expected ground invasion, Israeli Markiva tanks, armored vehicles, special soldiers, and fighter jets barricaded Gaza. The Israeli army announced that the evacuation corridor for northern Gaza was open, with hundreds of thousands going south. The IDF stated that the deadline for Gazans to leave the northern strip and travel south to avoid injury had been extended but did not clarify what the new deadline was. The Israeli Defense Forces have stated that they will then launch an all-out assault.